now it makes sense. Oh, sorry. Okay, sure. How you doing? Yeah, yeah. Understood. Forgive my ignorance, would that have been first win of the season? Yes. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. In normal speak, Rob, that's a long time. So these girls have standards for themselves. So. Yeah. No, feel it.
Some of the decisions were, again, two junior umpires. Some of the holding the balls, they virtually had the ball for that long, and they're not people holding, so probably a bit rough, but it is what it is. There's Kenza, and there's
49, so...
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm just looking for any changes.
I never got a reserves one.
Good, thank you.
To one of the coaches.
Thank you. We can go when you're ready, Ethan. I know that. Have they already played the ads? Cool. Welcome to Lation Park. This is round 11 of the Bond University QAFLW. This is the home of the Yeronga South Brisbane Devils, and they take on the Moreton Bay Lions, a clash unlikely to affect the finals makeup, and that is completely irrelevant. This is State League football in Queensland. My name is Daniel Viles. Great pleasure to be with you today. Yeronga South Brisbane Devils. Look, it's been a tough year for a very proud club. Haven't got a win yet, and there have been tears. The reserve grade game ended in either, depending on your perspective, a heroic win for Moreton Bay or a heartbreaking loss for Yeronga, one with the last kick of the game. And let's just say that there's evidence around the field of how much it would have meant to Yeronga to get that win. But congratulations to Moreton Bay, who've been able to get a win in reserve grade. Underway here at Lation Park very shortly. Once again, we have a Keith in the ruck for Yeronga. We've had Jessie, we've had Adrienne. Today we have Maddie. And she'll be up against Rosie White of Moreton Bay, who's had a good season. The Lions looking for their third win of the year. They're in their traditional tricolours of maroon, blue and gold. Yeronga in the famous black with the red sash. Yeronga attacking the right of your screen. No real possession out on the right-hand side. Was picked up and turned around by Sally Hamilton, who's come into the side in the last couple of weeks for the Devils. Stoppage on the right wing. Right wing for Moreton Bay, left for Yeronga. Again, just having trouble clearing. Brady comes inside to Talia Smith. She'll advance proceedings. Beats everyone, able to get inside 50 Moreton Bay, first of the match. Jess Davey trying to get separation from her opponent, couldn't get a kind bounce, looking for space. She's running about 3 different directions. Centering kick, not able to get as far as Pearson Smith. It's picked up by, I think, Hersey, and that dribbles through. Goal for Moreton Bay. In fact, it has been called a goal, yes. I thought I saw a number 38, which is not in my team sheet, so apologies. It was Hunter Hersey. So apologies for missing the goal scorer. I doubt it's Hersey because she's on the wing in front of us. White wrapped up in the middle of the field. May have been 28 Laura Irvin, who thought she had a maiden goal in this competition 2 weeks ago, but moved off the mark with a kick-off to the siren. McCosker with another clearance, looking up for a captain in Davey. Davey just knocking it towards the boundary, has support behind her in the form of Benson. Centering kick, well picked up in defence. Not the best clearing kick. Brady picks up just inside the 50. Goes right to Smith. Smith will launch from 48. Up towards the goal square, past Pearson Smith. Dribbles through for a minus score. So Moreton Bay with the forward pressure early. Run out by Goldie Poltney. Had quite a consistent season in a difficult year for the Devils. Pushing off the ball, pushing in the contest rather. So a free kick to Yeronga at left halfback. Picked off well, Rosie White using her height to full advantage. Got the call behind her. Oh! Bit of a collision after the kick went through. I thought a free kick may have been paid. Just be an ordinary boundary throw-in up in the right forward pocket, Lions perspective. Important ground in the history of Queensland women's football. This one hosted 8 grand finals in this competition. And some classics among them. There's that boundary throw-in, just got a little bit stuck in the palm, I feel, so we'll have a take 2. None of this Clint Eastwood take 1 rubbish. 1 take, I mean. Pushing in the contest. And Yeronga with a chance to clear. Tavel wasted no time. Maybe should have taken a little bit more time. Picked off by Anderson in the middle of the field. Big kick from the 16-year-old. Goes up towards the goal square. Hersey chasing hard. Good work in defence by Clutton. She's shown how hard she is this year. For those of you who don't know the story of the number 1 jersey here, that was famously worn by Emily Bates for many years, and so now they give it to a young player who shows Bates-esque qualities, one of which is being impregnable. Across the face of goal, Haig just ran past it. Good tackle by Brady, making sure to lock it inside 50. He's just unable to get away with Sienna Wilson. Well read off the hands. Body cleared, coming wide, and I dare say this year Yeronga have looked best when they've played wide. Strong tackle by O'Connor. She's been doing that for a while in this competition. Attempting to take the play on was McHugh, which sometimes gets her in trouble, but more often than not it works. Lasso free kick, but at least they've got some distance, the Devils. Umpires for today's game brought to you by Bradnam's Windows and Doors. In the field, Cooper Girola and Oliver Truloff. In the boundaries, Paul Dodd and Seb Sharp. And in goals, Abby Shaw and Matt Shaw. Jess Davey thumps it deep inside 50. Gets a roll on. Pearson Smith may not be needed. Well, she would have been needed, and in the end, just a minor score as Davey nearly had a long-range stunner. Yeronga had a difficult week against Southport last week, but they did manage to score, which is something that some more highly credentialed clubs have not managed to do against Southport this year. Deanna Jovanitti, but it's Brady getting it centrally. Plenty of Yeronga defence in the goal square. Just goes past McHugh. She's able to get a handball wide. Benson, back to Pearson-Smith. Pearson-Smith with the snap. And it didn't even hit the post, it hit the padding around the post. Almost as though she cares that much for the ball to give it a soft landing. So Yeronga looking to look outside 50. Well taken by Rachel Cribb. Another one who's fairly new to this side. Goes centrally, over the contest. Will be turned around by O'Connor. Deep inside 50. Back to Benson. Talia Benson with a shot. Talia Benson.
Midfielder, quick! Talia! Yeah, you can get it now.
Played for South Queensland against North Queensland last year, Talia Benson. Found it going a little tough up front this year, just with the step up in standard from the QAFLW, but you just got the sense that she won't take her long before she really finds her feet in this competition. Starts putting them through regularly against all sides. And of course, when you've got the tall timber of Grace Pearson-Smith up forward, there's a fair few crumbs from medium forward like Benson. Scarlett Young in the number 24 jersey for Yeronga on the ball. Had the ball bounce away from her, almost as though there were the same pole magnets in the ball and the jumper. Getting forward of halfway, trying to hack it forward. Nearly dribbles inside 50. It'll be cleared by Anderson. Began the year on the wing, now playing in defence. Through the hands of Maddie Keefe. And then Brady tries to push the ball underground. No one able to break away, and Clutton in the clutches. Towards the 50, just a bit of extra pace. Beautifully worked by McCosker. Inside 50 to Davey. Davey saw there was no one in front of her. She'll kick from 40. Jess Davey! And Davey is someone who you may well be able to watch next week. The final side hasn't been named yet, but next Saturday at midday our time from Latrobe Recreational Reserve in northwestern Tasmania. Tasmania versus Queensland. It's the third year of the women's clash. Queensland are currently 2-0, having won at North Hobart 2 years ago and Bond University last year. Davey played for the Queenslanders last year. There's a good chance to be in the side again. Just taking a break from the inside midfield role of late and playing more as a half forward with damaging effect. A hat-trick against Maroochydore in their win a couple of weeks ago. That's beautifully worked off from Young, then to Wilson, Sienna Wilson. Hellier, strong handball inside. Couldn't get past the outstretched arms of Anderson. They are inside 50. Just the barest hint of a throw, and it'll be wrapped up inside 50. There's a number 55 on the field for Yeronga, who I don't have. Put away eventually towards Anderson. Kaya Thompson before that. So we'll get the jersey change for you at quarter time. Free kick to Yeronga. Just above the shoulder. Might be Claire Walker. It's a left footer. I'm not sure if that gives the locals a clue. Moreton Bay looked like they'd be able to clean up. Eventually Chantel Page will clear. Goes towards Davey. Does well to cope with an awkward bounce. Lands in the middle of Panaho's leg. She did well to turf it out and then got it forward to Sienna Wilson. There's a few leads in the forward line. Got it over the top. Just beat the outstretched arms of a few Yeronga forwards, and in the end there are no less than 4 Moreton Bay defenders who are able to clean up. Chantel Page with one of her typical long clearances. Yeronga starting to get some repeat possessions off the foot of Keefe. I suppose most kicks are off the foot really, aren't they? Retaining possession. Good work through, strong tackle. Joss got the fist to it. Able to play on multiple efforts from Scarlett Young in the 24. And she's largely responsible for Moreton Bay being unable to clear their own half. Good tap down. McHugh got it towards the 50. Didn't go 15, so told to play on. Opportunity for Yeronga. They've got it up to centre half forward. Just went towards Morisuti. Sutton back into the traffic. The kick comes in from Hoadley. Kenza Hoadley! And a very popular goal. I believe this is her first senior match for the club. She's had a couple of false starts this year where she's had to be withdrawn on the day of the game. But Kenza Hoadley, a late starter to Aussie rules, has a goal against Moreton Bay. Apparently her first goal in Aussie rules. Certainly her first senior goal. We'll find out which category of first goal it is. It is a first goal. So I've got a very unreliable statistician here in the commentary box. But that came off the back of some sustained forward pressure from Yeronga. Plenty of work from Scarlett Young as Charlie Hellier decides let's get physical in the middle of the field. Back to Benson. Benson already a goal scorer today. Up towards Davey. Just Davey has a long kick. I think she's decided this may be the day. Launches from 52. In towards the pocket, just through the hands. The opportunity is gone. It did go over the boundary. It just went through the hands of Imogen Foxchafer up in the forward pocket. So Moreton Bay, 3 goals, and they've turned it over the right forward pocket. I believe that's Hamer out in on the right for the Lions. They've had a difficult but solid first year at this level after coming up from the QAFLW. Falls well short. Rue. Good second effort. Back to Benson. Inside to Davey. Davey gets some separation. Fierce shot. Misses to the right.
Play tight,
23 plays 6. Yeronga have matched their score that they got against Southport last week. Therefore, Southport and Moreton Bay are exactly as good as each other. Because math. So Pulteney at fullback. Took a sweet time. Just bounced a little beyond Eliza Haig. Is it outside the 50 or just inside? I can't quite see the paint from there. Inside 50. That's how it looks, but I'm getting older. Anderson had first hands. Not able to turn it into a meaningful possession. Brought to ground was Zara Sanders. Another one playing, I think, her third match at this level. Just being knocked centrally. Good handball from Benson. The kick comes across the face of goal. Pearson Smith tried to get some space for herself. Maybe an early tackle, maybe not. Back to Brady. Brady with a low kick. Bouncing through. Pearson Smith will finish the job. Grace Pearson Smith scores Moreton Bay's 4th. Played at the Lions Academy as a ruck a few years ago, Grace Pearson Smith. That's when she was up at Maroochydore. Become a very important for key forward for Moreton Bay since moving there in 2022. She's been missed from the Bond University QAFLW. Big personality is GPS. I think the umpires were just counting the 5-6-5, but there was no infringement to report. Hellier wins well in the ruck and then follows up with a strong tackle. We don't count metres gained in the iSports stats in this competition, but I think Charlie Hellier can claim about 7 or 8 there. Loses out to Anderson this time around. Kaya Thompson, bobbling around in the middle, had her arms more or less pulled behind her. Anderson will clear up the middle, looking for Jess Davey, and why wouldn't you? Falls ahead of her. Eliza Haig with an important tackle in defence. Just a case of numbers. Davey spills to her at the back, gets it out to Benson. Benson has a second for the quarter.
Tiana! Tiana! Do one more! One more! Do one more! One more!
Sustained pressure, and obviously Benson needs to be congratulated for finishing it off, but Jess Davey, classy player. We saw that with Aspley last year, and those who've been watching there's a bit of shenanigans on the near wing as Charis Tard was deemed by the runner to have a face that was too dry, and so copped an entire water bottle in the face. Kaya Thompson just got it wide. But yeah, Jess Davies worked to set up that goal, firstly behind the play. That was called, didn't spend a lot of time on the ball, but called a free kick. Taylor McCosker wins it. Changes lanes. And Lily Clutton put a lot of pressure on that kick. Knocked forward, strong tackle. Sanders unable to get a meaningful kick away. Turned over to Moreton Bay. They have it on the right-hand side, the eastern side of Lation Park. Strong run-down tackle, and it has been called. Scarlett Young, take a bow. She'll move it wider. Good vision. Clutton. Well taken by Sutton, the captain. Moving alphabetically through rhyme. Hellier, which doesn't rhyme with either Clutton or Sutton. Moving towards inside 50, athletically attacked by Smith from the back. Leaves it for Tar. Handballs to O'Connor. Good ball movement until eventually White and McCosker got in each other's way. McCosker finds a way through. Looking all the way up to Taylor Hamer. Hamer plays at route one. Looking for Pearson Smith on the lead. Just a little bit quicker off the mark. And of course it helps when you're not quite 6 foot tall and you can barge your way through. Talia Benson has 2 goals in this quarter. Pearson Smith looking to match her. Away to the left.
Laura, hold up. Stay behind Charis. Just stay behind Charis. Just hold space, Charis. That's perfect. Hold. Yeah, hold there, Laura. Perfect. Perfect. That's all right. It's fine. I can't keep that far.
So Moreton Bay definitely was the better of this quarter, as the scoreboard rather gives away. But Yeronga did have a sustained period of forward presence. It just falls out of the hands of Kenza Hoadley, who scored that goal for Yeronga. But it came off the back of a sustained forward occupation, as it were. Hoadley clears the contest. Route 1 achieved. Just went over the head of Rachel Cribb. Back in field. Haven't seen much of Tavel yet. That will change as the match wears on. She's got a fair old engine on her as the Papua New Guinean representative. You'll hear sirens from the reserve grade game. They're giving a very loud siren here at Lation Park number 2. Equality and all that. Charis Tar, strong handball, moves it wide. Looking for, might be Otto under there. No, it was Erda. Wins the free kick. Came back to Cribb. I think the umpire's acknowledging that he didn't quite communicate what was going on, and so he's just come over to clean things up rather than give the 50. I can respect that. Cribb hugs the boundary line. Was touched before it went over, so boundary throw in. But this is how the path to Yeronga's last goal started. They do find themselves 5 goals down. Good tap from Rosie White. Really charged onto by Thompson. McCosker. Big charge from McCosker. Inside 50. Looking for Pearson Smith. Had to bend down low to get it. Just chips it in front. Good work from Hamer. Didn't get a kite bounce. Hamer and Rue. Someone just needs to pick it up and tie it through. Eventually Rue scores. One of the messier goals you'll see. She won't mind. Moreton Bay have their 6th. And apparently when I said someone needs to pick it up, no, you don't need to pick it up. You just need to find a way of getting it through the goal. That's why I'm a commentator and not a coach. So 6 goals to 1 in this quarter. Moreton Bay have been looking strong. Keefe back to Tavel. The handball was the right idea, just couldn't link up with, I think, McHugh on the near side. Slowed down by the Devils. Appealing for being held off the ball was Sienna Wilson. Maybe she had a point. Comes up towards Sally Hamilton. McHugh. McHugh linked well. Not the kick she was after. Talia Smith will clean this up. And if she can find a way inside Tavel, she doesn't. Yeronga with a big opportunity. The handball back towards Tavel. Did she get high contact? Umpire says no. Tavel chasing. Moreton Bay have found a way of spilling it loose. Semi-cleared by Otto up to Tar. Injury down. And apologies, number 5. I'm so used to seeing Thyra Tavel that I forgot that Nicole Pungu is on the field as well. So it's a serious injury. Clock will probably stop. We're in the final minute. I don't know, but there was just a crunch of bodies inside 50. So the player down might be Talia Smith, and if she's down, then it's serious, because she is one tough nut and probably been Moreton Bay's best over the course of this season. It is Smith. So she'll come off for a break. Just wipes the eyes. I'm hoping that's sweat rather than tears. There's no blood. She's coming off unaided, but just seems to be gasping a bit there.
Michael.
So Moreton Bay with a free kick in the left pocket. With the kick going before the whistle, such as life. Benson with a strong tackle. Just able to escape it was Sienna Wilson.
Laura, back pocket.
Good work from Thompson on the ground. Tries to get it back to Benson. Wilson again. Just had it spilled from her grasp. Working their way inside 50. There's time if they can get a centering kick, Yeronga. Moreton Bay doing well to just keep them at bay. That's Tavel in the number 2. Be cleared by McCosker. Turned over. Strong tackle from Hersey. It was Moreton Bay's quarter here at Lation Park. Moreton Bay 6-6-42, leading Yeronga 1-6. Thank you for joining us here on the official AFLQ YouTube channel for round 11 of the Bond University QAFLW.
Did you know Bond students have been in every Olympics since '92? How do they do it? Bond is known for its prowess in the sporting domain. With incredible facilities throughout campus, it means you can easily transition from this to this. Sport is alive and well at Bond University.
Welcome back to Lation Park, round 11 of the Bond University QAFLW. Moreton Bay in 8th, playing Yeronga in 10th, and Moreton Bay have a 36-point lead at quarter time. Kenza Hoadley with the lone goal to Yeronga. Tamaru and Talia Benson each have doubles for Moreton Bay. It was Tamaru who scored the first goal of the match. In the second minute, Jess Davey and Grace Pearson-Smith have singles. Moreton Bay running to the right of screen in this second quarter. Maddie Keefe with an excellent tap back to her midfielder. And that's probably the best centre work we've seen from Yeronga so far in this match. Called a throw. Could have easily just been called for throwing the player as well. Brady works it out well. Good mark from Rue. There's not much of it, but what there is talent. Plays it wide to Davey. Just off the chest. That was good defensive pressure from Jemima Smith. And speaking of Smiths, Talia Smith, number 15 for Moreton Bay, was looking quite distraught when she came off, during the quarter-time break. So I fear that her afternoon's work is over, which would be a shame for her personally. And also for the Lions, not only for this game, but for the 5 rounds remaining after the break for the interstate game next week. Maddie Keefe tried to take on traffic. Play's been allowed to continue. Just a ball up. I think Yeronga may have dodged one there. Such is life. Maddie Keefe starting to get on top of Rosie White in the rucks. Put forward, strong tackle from Rue again, able to lock it inside Moreton Bay's forward 50. Of course, the advantage of having Jess Davey in the forward line is that when play moves into the forward line, you've got her there as an inside midfielder as well. It's all a bit rugby union-like just at right half forward at the moment. Popped out the back to White, went from rugby union to volleyball. Brady got away, got the handball, picked up by Clutton. Clutton did extremely well in defence, and Yeronga, they got half a clearance. Then it is Tavel. Look at the speed. Goes right, tried to clear it. O'Connor taking intercept mark number 3,004,000 in her career. She goes back inside 50 and connects well with Tar. Suppose you usually get some good connection with Tar. Lands in space. Pearson-Smith out the back of the contest, misses to the right. Just pushing the lead out. This is the second clash between these two teams. Yeronga travelled up to Moreton Bay earlier in the year, and Moreton Bay got their historic first win. It was also Jess Davies' 100th senior match. Beautiful work from Rue. Inside to Davey, and Jess Davey has just done something most un-Jess Davey-like. It's one of the most reliable kicks in the competition, never mind this team. Fairly phlegmatic character. And you've got a tribe of kids at home, missing a shot in front of goal doesn't really worry you as much as it might have when you're younger. Yeronga once again going deep and well picked off by Tar again. Just hooked the kick around, maybe looking for the lead of Pearson-Smith. Bounces over the head of Tavel. Tavel able to knock it free of the 50. Just had space in front of her and then got an awkward bounce. Looking to move it forward by any means possible. Turned over. McCosker, I fancy. Was that a champion data handball to the self, where you just handball over the top of the defender, try to regather on the other side? Either way, it looked good. Mark taken just inside the 50. Told to get on with it. Rue's been busy. Back inside, dancing through the defence. That was Mahalia Johnson. Johnson on the board. The shot was impressive. and definitely would have impressed Jess Davey, who missed one moments before. But it was the slicing run through the defence before that. Mahalia Johnson has the first goal of the second term. And she's been improving every week, Mahalia Johnson. And one suspects that getting a bit of confidence through that goal. Okay, you do it against Yeronga. Then maybe next you're making that kind of run against maybe a UQ or a Wilston Grange. And suddenly you're doing it against Southport and Bond. Dream big, Mahalia. Tap from White. Good work running onto it from the one they call Willow. Comes out wide to Hoadley. Otto. Extraordinary piece of play. Managed to regather a ball that had been stripped from her grasp. Deep inside 50. Davies circling. Benson. Davey. She's had a sighter. Gets separation. Well, she's getting closer. Again, on the outside, she'll get on with it. I'm not privy to what internal beration is happening with Jess Davey at the moment as Pearson Smith returns to her ruck roots to ensure that the ball stayed inside 50. Possibly got a push in the back, but it fell out hard. It fell to Hersey. Centering kick. Loose ball. Well picked up in the goal square. Panaho tried to get it loose. Just about did. Not fully cleared, however. Rolls between a few sets of legs. Benson with the tackle. Comes back to Johnson. Was it touched in flight? It's certainly gone through the goal, but I believe it was touched well, pretty much off the boot. So Johnson's goal took Moreton Bay past the half century. Little wave of the bat towards the crowd. Claire Walker takes a break after putting in some big defensive work just before. Just goes over the top of Hellier outside the 50. Strong tackle by O'Connor. Just a ball up, 55 from goal. Beautiful work. Just to break away from the tackle. That was Shauna Kelly, known for her speed. Back outside 50, however. Free kick will go to Moreton Bay. Must confess, all I really saw was a tangle of legs, so I'll trust the umpire, who's about 70 metres closer than I am. Rosie White has the free kick. Keeps it wide. Kick to an outnumbered contest. Over the top towards, I think that's Kelly. Shoots low. In towards the goal square. Beats everyone off the ground. Talia Benson has her hat trick. Sorry, the muted celebration tricked me. I thought she'd missed it. But Benson has a third goal. And Moreton Bay pull further away. Going to have a word with Talia after the match and say, when you score a goal, celebrate hard. Otherwise, I'll call it a behind. And then I'll try the old trick of telling her a male player would have celebrated that very hard because ego overrules ability. But a first half hat-trick for Talia Benson. Very much, she's clearly found her feet in this competition. Hamilton coming back into the ground on the wing. She matches up with Hersey. Good work by McHugh at the back of the contest. Back to Haig. Just unable to get a clean pick up, and they've turned it over. McCosker with a cheeky handball. In towards the 50, goes past Sutton, being chased by Hamer. That was good work at the back from Panaho. I think that was Tavel on the far side. Turned over, good take by Anderson, who's looking okay as a key defender. As I said earlier, began the year on the wing. She's got height, that doesn't always make you a key defender. As Benson went for a fly, but ultimately missed the mark. Turned over, went to Cribb, then to Tavel. Just through the hands of Morisuti. Scored a few goals in 2024, Morisuti. I must confess, I'm not sure whether it's Sienna Morisuti or Sienna Wilson who was recently named in a Queensland merit team for 16 years to 18, B. Wilson. Norris City's finished school, whereas Wilson's still there, I think. So I respect clubs who keep the surnames of junior players off their social media posts, but it does make it hard for researchers. Over in front of the hill where many teams have had their supporters gathered on grand final days here. Haig, some beautiful work in the contest, was then pulled off it by Brady. Play allowed to continue. And strong tackle yet again by Sienna Wilson. So for Moreton Bay, it's connecting a few passes. Good lane change out to Otto. Just misweighted the kick. The use of the body was strong from Hamilton. There's a million things she hasn't done, but just you wait. Hellier in the ruck. Lost out to Anderson. Haig hit the deck. First time since World War II. Good run through the middle. That was by Jovannitti, who scored last week against Southport. Not as successful on that occasion. Brady with the free kick. Elects to keep it on this side of the ground. Marked by Otto. Oh, well held. Mahalia Johnson has the ball on a string at the moment. Looking for Benson. Landed in between Benson and Sutton. Hersey in the middle of the contest. Sutton applying constant pressure. Goes out to Pearson Smith. She goes out towards centre half forward. Davey is there. Panaho trying to get towards the contest. Fairly aerial handball. Tavel got in the middle of it. Takes on 3 Lions. Just about succeeded. Haig found some kind of a way through. Turned over to O'Connor. O'Connor will go back inside 50. Knocked away to Pearson Smith. That was a clever tap on from Davey. Pearson Smith with the shot. Gets a horrible bounce. Still in play. Followed through by Kelly. They're trying to rush it through from behind. This will be a very interesting call from the umpire, and it has been called holding. And to be fair, the Yeronga defender did pretty much dive on it and try to claim a try, I think. Possibly trying to spectacularly force the behind. Didn't really work. And so the shot from Shauna Kelly is good. A third goal for the quarters of the Lions. And Shauna Kelly on the board. Another one who I believe has been with the Lions for a while. It was on this ground in 2022 where the Lions played an absolute belter of a Division 1 grand final where they lost by 2 points to Surfers Paradise. They went one step further the following year in 2023 when they beat Morningside out at Kedron's ground. And then a couple of years later here they find themselves in the First Division. Hellier competing well against White. Again, Hamilton trying to bust through the middle. Didn't work, but one must admire the endeavour. Umpire was about to blow the whistle. Squeezed out. Hellier did well. White was holding her at arm's length. And the free kick will go to Yeronga. Comes out wide, moving it wide to Haig. Just came off the top of the boot. To a marking contest. Hellier wins the free kick. She pretty much had that in the mitts and then was... Oh, I completely misread that. So there's a push the other way. White comes out wide to Otto. It's about 3 or 4 times now that the Lions have sought to switch the play by using Otto. Back in field, strong mark. That's to Irvin. Back out to Otto. If you want options, use a palindrome. Strong mark just dropped. Well, it wasn't a strong mark, was it? Over towards the boundary. That was Hamer who had the ball in the hands and not quite able to hold on. Brady flying from the back. Possibly was a little bit lucky that it ended up in the hands, but again, the effort was superb. Route 1 through the middle, found Rue. Yeronga have a couple of spares back. As long as they're matched up, that's all right. They've got the numbers at this contest. Davey flew from the back, trying to keep it away from Pearson Smith. They've done enough. It's either Clutton or McHugh at the back. I do get them mixed up, but they're both, let's just say it's equal talent. McCosker out to Williams, who was a wrecking ball in that grand final a couple of years ago. Finished up on the losing side. The ball is turned over. Yeronga on the near side. Not able to hold on was Morisuti. Goes past her. McCosker, another weaving run. Making a habit of that in this competition. I think Benson may have attacked that marking contest to the detriment of Mahalia Johnson. Inside 50, Chantel Page going back. It's just going to go out for a lasso unless it was touched before it went over the line. I think the umpire's just called a throw-in. Yeah, so possibly just a touch before it went over the paint. And we'll retake that. I do have a minor conspiracy theory that sometimes boundary umpires do that on purpose just to keep themselves warm. Can you begrudge them, really? McCosker ran into traffic, only just got a handball away. It's probably a run she'd like again. Tapped inside, oh, fierce tackle from Williams. Which is pretty much a tautology. There's no such thing as a soft tackle from Monica Williams. It's pretty much rinse and repeat in terms of the boundary throw-in. Hellier versus White. White used her size well. Went out to Haig, however. Good work again from Young. Centrally, just went through the hands of Tavel. Pungu was behind her. And the two of them combine in a tackle. And again, this is probably the second time that Yeronga's had just a few phases of play in their forward half. The first one they turned into a goal. The second one wasn't all that far from it. The second goal would do wonders for them. Not just confidence, but evidence. Well done by Hellier. Managed to get it further forward without necessarily having disposals to do it. O'Connor will sweep at the back. And Page clears. Tar chasing in a lot of space. Maybe Yeronga a bit slow to get across. Maybe they're a little bit overcommitted on this left-hand side of the ground. Defenders trying to combine. Eventually Panaho tied herself in a bit of a knot, but still got the handball away. Gave herself enough space. Sutton with a legal push. Subtle for Sutton. Not known for a subtlety, and I don't mean that as an insult. Turned over to Anderson. Anderson keeps it wide. Turns it over to Sutton. With a mark like that can be as obvious as she wants. Strong tackle from Morisuti. Forces the ball loose. Well, it went inside 50, but all they found was Tiana Anderson. Hooks it around the body. Davey came a long way back. Found White. White couldn't find the ball. Coming back the other way was Kelly. Back into the hands of Thompson. Clever movement up the left-hand side. Knocked forward and just some good, sensible kick mark play from Moreton Bay. Hellier. Don't think there were players in front of her who suddenly cleared as the ball landed towards her. The umpires found a free kick in favour of the Lions. Goes to Shauna Kelly. Already has a goal this quarter. Kelly saw a player on the lead. He must have suddenly disappeared because all it found was a Yeronga defender. Pearson Smith out to Davey. Davey, most difficult shot she's had. That swung away from the defender and swung back into, I think it's Hoadley and Kelly back there. Hoadley and Rue, rather. In fact, it was Clutton and Rue. 0 from 2, Daniel. Well done. Yeronga needs to defend tightly. Not able to get hands on the ball. Brady trying to get loose. The handball wasn't really with any great direction. And Kelly will bring proceedings to a halt with a tackle on Pulteney. A lower scoring quarter this second term. Semi-cleared by Sutton. The clock is probably their best friend. Brady looking for space. Scuffed kick. Hellier got in the way. Young. Strong, resolute defence from Yeronga at the end of the term. The half-time score is Moreton Bay 9-10-64, leading Yeronga 1-6. The goals for Moreton Bay in that quarter to Johnson, Benson and Kelly. Thank you very much for joining us here on the official AFLQ YouTube channel for this round 11 clash in the Bond University QAFLW.
Inside this building is a simulated hospital ward, a high-tech biomechanics lab, a commercial kitchen, and a whole virtual home. Let's explore the new Bond Institute of Health and Sport in just 61 seconds. This is the 12-bed simulation hospital ward. From day one, Bond students gain hands-on experience in allied health and exercise science. This is the Work-Play Lab, which gives students the opportunity to provide occupational therapy for our youngest, while the Activities of Daily Living Lab simulates a full home environment, giving students the chance to practice mobility work with our wisest. From sprinting to golf swings, this track can track it. Using pressure sensors and high-speed cameras, it can analyze anything from age-related conditions to elite sports training. Wow. The kitchen lab has solar-powered sustainable cooking stations, giving postgrad nutrition and dietetic students access to commercial-grade equipment.
Thank you.
Why don't you come and check out the Bond Institute of Health and Sport for yourself? Did you know Bond students have been in every Olympic since '92? How do they do it? I've got 61 seconds to race you through the life of a student in the Bond Elite Sport program. Strap in. Bond is known for its prowess in the sporting domain, supporting student athletes like Mia. Student athletes have access to flexible study loads, adjusted academic requirements, and tutoring. The top tier of student athletes even receive funding to assist with their travel and competition costs. Bond also runs 4 high-performance sporting programs that field competitive teams. There's netball, rugby, AFL, and swimming. With incredible facilities throughout campus, it means you can easily transition from this to this. Whether it's producing world-class athletes or offering scholarships to high-achieving students every single year, sport is alive and well at Bond University.
Second half action at Lation Park, home of 8 grand finals in the Bond University QAFLW. This is round 11. Moreton Bay looking for their 3rd win of the year. And they're in the box seat at the moment with a 64-6 lead at half time. Talia Benson has a hat-trick. Tamer Roo has a couple. Kenza Hoadley, the goal scorer for Yeronga. As the umpire will fine himself after the game for having a centre ball up that went about 3 metres behind him. It can happen to everyone. And just to turn that into a serious point, if you're interested in umpiring, umpire.afl, always looking for more numbers. And if you know someone who keeps complaining about the umpiring, just sign their name up for them. Make them put their time and energy where their mouth is. They're away through, I believe it's O'Connor, deep inside 50. Hit the defender hard on the chest and went past her. Davey working hard and then coming back the other way. It's good work from Walker. Back inside, however. Out towards Hamer. Sutton putting in the big ones. Sutton putting a lot of pressure on, forced the ball loose. It's become a 2-on-2 contest. Is that big? Play's allowed to go on. Sorry, I heard the whistle from the other match. Strong work at the back from Young. She had a very good first half. Not quite able to clear the defensive zone. A push in the back. Or possibly a dangerous tackle. Either way, it's a free kick to Tiana Anderson of Moreton Bay. Don't know if that ringtone was audible on camera, but you are not listening to Triple M. Inside the front 50. Out towards Walker. Just had a Kelly on her back for a moment there. Possibly an early tackle, but the umpires allowed it to continue. As Hamer stands guard over a pack of fallen soldiers. And towards the Brisbane River end of the ground. As far as I know, no one's ever kicked the ball into the river here, although Courtney McDonald tried on many occasions here during her time at Yeronga. Going back to go forward, very good tackle. Superb defensive work from Sienna Wilson. I'm struggling to work out why that wasn't paid, but that's okay, we move on. Not able to make it outside of their 50. Yeronga doing enough. Good work again from, I believe, Young. The handball went to Davey. Back to Anderson. Puts in a, might call it Gary Owen. Kelly came in from the side. Davey crashing through. Gets front position. She's had a few sizes. Came off hands. That will just be rushed through. Good work, Goldie Poltney at fullback. And Moreton Bay. So both start with MOR. The first score of the third term. Just minor. Dropped by Hoadley, but able to use her pace well, the former soccer player. Went forward to Morris Susie, brought to ground. And I think she realised a little bit late that she maybe should try to release the ball and get rid of it. Not sure what other sports Morris Susie plays. I know some players occasionally get confused as to which skill has to become automatic. Thompson just came off the arms of Irvin and out of bounds. Good work by Panaho, who's moved into the ruck. Wasn't in the contest in the first quarter. Anderson, front position, attacked by Hellier. The ball, that is. Boundary umpire has called it out, which is actually to the benefit of Hellier because she had handballed it to an opponent. So that gets taken off the iSports stats. Panaho versus White. White tips it over the back of her head. McCosker was charging onto it. Good tackle from White. And everyone came crashing to ground. Wilson just lurking behind the play. Hasn't come to it yet. McCosker just caught the stray arm around the neck and took exception to it against Hoadley. I could see it was accidental, but if McCosker wants to get fired up, I'm not going to stop her. I wouldn't dare. Panaho just using some of her physicality in the contest. Thompson, pressure on her kick. Sutton charging onto it. Play will break down in the middle of the field. White just tapping it through to Thompson, who charged through a few defenders, then went without it. Johnson clears. Inside 50. Took a strange bounce to the benefit of Pearson Smith. Knocks it to Benson. Benson goes across field. Was looking for Davey. Didn't quite get that far. Pulteney in defence. Looking to wrap it up. There are a lot of maroon jerseys. Davey knocks it through. And finally she's got her second goal. Had plenty of chances to score a more attractive one. She will take that one. As the goal is heartily celebrated by whatever the collective noun is for Kookaburras behind me. Of course, some people will tell you that means there's rain on the way, and there was rain predicted for this afternoon, but skies are relatively clear at the moment. There's a couple of photogenic clouds in the background. But Moreton Bay pulling away. Jess Davey has her second. She's up to 6 goals for the year. Enjoying her time in the forward line. Messy ball out of the middle, but Brady will take it forward, knocks it to her own advantage into the corner of the square. Wilson got herself in the way, used her body well. Cleared upfield by Panaho. Yeronga looking to counter. Breaks down in the middle of the field. Hellier is told that she tackled early and gave away the free kick. Comes out to Irvin. Tavel with tremendous pressure. Is knocked inside by Hoadley. Page under pressure. Hellier looking to make up for the error she was told she made before. Morris Suti. Inside 50. Just goes over the back of Otto. Not the best bounce. And Jemima Smith pounced. Taken away by McCosker. Not for the first time today. Weaves her way slalom-like through the defence. Not able to get the kick with any distance. Back inside 50. Sienna Wilson's been superb. Goal side. Goes towards Hellier. Just needs to get some kind of a nice bounce. The angle is narrow. To be honest, I think she'll take the minor score in that situation. And there's calls from the bench for lock it in, which is pretty much in all Aussie rules these days. But you could argue that the idea of immense forward pressure actually started in women's football and made its way over to the men's, sort of in the late 2010s. Some might even call it Stas ball. It's Page clears the 50. It'll be returned. Opportunity not over for Yeronga. Goes over the head of Hellier. She is goal side. Didn't get the best bounce. Thought about handballing. Does so. The tackle from Williams was well timed. Everyone hits the deck. Hellier in the sleeves, looking for it. Didn't want to be selfish before. Maybe needed to be a little bit more selfish. To have cleared it through, I think, Otto. Outside 50. Yeronga looking for a third straight forward 50 entry. Moreton Bay may have done enough. Brady looking for space. Going back to go forward. Circumnavigates Hay. Good pressure on the kick from Walker. And Walker makes sure that there's no counter-attacking goal from Moreton Bay. But credit to the Moreton Bay defence. They scrambled. They never assumed that the goal was going to be scored. And Arnica Williams charging back to help out in particular. She often ends up with the spectacular play. Charging through the defence probably wasn't the right option for Wilson. I spoke too soon. It's a baller. Well done, Wilson. Just went past Sally Hamilton. And we're out of bounds. So at the risk of tempting fate, Yeronga's defence has shored up across this match. 6 goals conceded in the first quarter, 3 in the second, and just the 1 in the first half of the third. Not only that, but they're creating a few more chances, and in terms of forward half presence, they're probably on level terms in this quarter. Through to Hoadley. Having to work infield, which is possibly no bad thing. Well cleaned up by O'Connor. That was a reflex take on a difficult angle. Benson will play it forward to herself. The counter-attack is on. Tar providing a shepherd. Benson has the fumbles. Still did well. Got it back to Johnson. Pumped inside 50. Davies in the pocket. Looking to see how it bounces. It'll just be a boundary throw-in. But that was swift from Moreton Bay. Just trying to crawl through was Young. Didn't quite work. Cleared by Hay. Been impressed with Hay today. Certainly putting a lot of effort. The counter is on, maybe not quite as swift as Moreton Bay's was before, as it's chased through by Yeronga. And of course, where there's a contest, Tavel's not usually far away. Tap forward by Panaho. Was cleaned up by, I think Johnson may have forgotten which way she was going round. In fact, it was Hersey. Put her teammate in trouble. Being a bit harsh there. But it's Yeronga's free kick. Panaho inside 50. Couldn't find a target, or teammate anyway. They have regathered. Sutton bursting through the middle. Goes long range. She's effectively shot from 55. Williams superb. Some players in the competition don't know how strong they are. I think it's fair to say that Williams does. And she will use her strength, usually very intelligently. Good work to set Page free. Over the head of Rue. Inside to Thompson. Goes up towards the D. Excellent defensive mark under pressure. It is McHugh. There's probably a fair chance of winning Yeronga's best and fairest at the end of the season. Tamer Rue is holding her head. Obviously, we're full of concern for her. There's time to praise the mark she took before she hit the deck. And the good thing in 2025 is the clock does stop. This used to take time out of the match. But quite apart from her 2 goals today, Tamer Rue, she has thrown her body around, is jogging off the field herself, so don't know if there'll be concussion protocols involved in that, because it wasn't a clash of heads, it was, but she'll be assessed. So Kaya Thompson will take Tamer Rue's free kick. They lead by 64, the Lions. Poultney getting front position, roved well by Brady. And took on too much. The tackling was strong from Yeronga. Through the middle, just held up in the breeze. Doesn't feel like there's much wind from my vantage point, but there might be a lot more out on the ground. Good work weaving through from Otto. Deep inside 50. Beats the defence, rolls through. Becomes a good old-fashioned foot race. Is left behind. Benson with the tackle. Went to Pearson Smith. Strong work from Walker. That's arguably a goal-saving tackle in defence. And she's made a second one without even getting to her feet. Danger not over. Moreton Bay have earned the chance to attack again. Knocked away. Hoadley ran into trouble. Johnson caused the turnover. Benson on the snap. Well away to the right. In fact, so far away to the right. No score. But Benson showing herself to be dangerous. As befits a player who already has a hat-trick. The kick-in was attacked. Turned over. Brady tried to pull the trigger. And the defensive work was strong. Goes out into the pocket. It has been scored. I think it's Shauna Kelly. That is Shauna Kelly in the 27. The ball spilled loose. It looked for a moment like Yeronga had done enough. Not to be, and Shauna Kelly as her second for the match. And it was at a similar stage of the second quarter as well that she scored. When you've got as much speed as Shauna Kelly has, you're likely to find yourself in goal-scoring positions if you position yourself well enough, which she clearly knows how to do. So for the record, this is Moreton Bay's highest score to date in their QAFLW existence, which is now 11 matches old, or best part of 11. Benson with a long handball back. May well be a turnover. Brady has done a lot of grunt work, just putting her body on the line repeatedly. It's just, for those of you long-time Bond University QAFLW watchers, Courtney Sexton, unfortunately, is no longer able to play. Just too many concussions. But there's a bit of Courtney Sexton about Emerson Brady. Interesting to see how her career develops. Run out of defence, Moreton Bay, along the right-hand side. Tavel was chasing, went past Hamer. Good handball under pressure from Sutton. Just ran away from Walker. Somehow gets the ball back. Not the cleanest kick. Yeronga was chasing it through. Came out wide to Irvin. O'Connor. Her big kick came off less than half the boot, I suspect, and it still went a decent distance. Hamer and Benson are there to tackle Sutton. McCosker trying to burst through. They were onto her this time. Haig at ground level. Hamilton is dispossessed. McCosker trying to get it forward. Not her cleanest kick, and she's had some very clean kicks today. McHugh chasing hard. Good work on the ground from Page. Seems to have been moved further forward. McHugh, her handball was blocked. Page again. Handballs to herself. Gets around McHugh. Good pick up under pressure. McHugh never gave up. Causes the turnover. Back inside to, I think, Yeronga. Brilliantly taken by White. White with a shot from a fair way out. Pulteney. Volley by Benson. That would have been extraordinary. That would have been utterly extraordinary from Talia Benson. On the half volley from the pocket, that could have become a very replayed moment. In fact, with some of the AI art programs, it possibly could still be. There's a competition AFL Queensland could run. Turn near misses into goals using AI art. This came off the knees. Tar. Well positioned was Hellier. And lovely step as well. Trying out for the Rugby 7 side. Panaho. Looking for Tavel, who's goal side. Thought about playing on. Wisely decided not to. Has support ahead in the form of Zara Sanders. But she was well covered. Handballs out to Young. Kicks to a one-on-one, or at least it was in the end. Lost possession. Hellier thumps it forward. Yeronga just finding a way. Didn't have enough players inside, and that's where Moreton Bay had the overlap. However, it has come out to Clutton. Handball forward to McHugh. Takes on the defence. Just not able to. I think her plan was to draw the tackler and then handball away, and the tackle was clever enough to pin the arm. So McCosker clears. Back to Clutton. Picked up her rate in the last couple of minutes. Turned over to Hersey. And now we have the mirror image of the play that just happened at the right-hand side of your screen, now happening at the left. Trigger pulled by Rue. Well read by Pulteney. Not for the first time in her career or indeed in her family. If you know, you know. Working hard. Good one-handed pickup. That was Pearson Smith getting down low. And a good mark. Good vision as well. to pick out Talia Benson. She's on a hot streak, notwithstanding the miss that so nearly could have been extra special. So this will need to go the journey from Talia Benson. And likely no score. So three-quarter time at Lation Park. Moreton Bay, 11-12-78. Their goal scorers in that quarter were Jess Davey and Shauna Kelly. Yeronga, 1-1-7. You're watching the official AFLQ YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your company for this round 11 match in the Bond
Did you know Bond students have been in every Olympic since '92? How do they do it? Bond is known for its prowess in the sporting domain. With incredible facilities throughout campus, it means you can easily transition from this to this. Sport is alive and well at Bond University.
1 quarter remaining. Moreton Bay Lions, you would think, on their way to their 3rd win of the season. They're not really thinking too hard about finals matches, but if you win enough games, you never know, and what they are doing is keeping the teams ahead of them incredibly honest. Yeronga, well, they'll have their own aims. 2 goals in a quarter would be nice. And even just showing fight and playing out the match. Comes out to Panaho. Good positioning from Haig. Centres. Defensive work was strong from Irvin. Yeronga have come to play. They've won the free kick. Didn't mean to sound surprised that they'd come to play. Yovaniti. Panaho, lovely step from the ex-tennis player. Deep inside 50. Unfortunately, there was just a bare hint there that if it got a roll on it, she could have scored from that distance. The pressure was strong up front from Morisuti. They will clear the Lions, but not all that far. I think this is the first time in the match where a quarter has begun with Yeronga on the attack. It's been Moreton Bay who have been able to get that first clearance to date. Not the straightest throw, and Panaho says, I don't mind, thank you very much. Good handball under pressure. White will be wrapped up, but the handball before that was slick. Fans have got their money's worth today. It has been uneven, but 12 goals for the match. And both sides playing enterprising football. Hersey came wide. Benson on the attack. It'll just be run out. Page quite rightly just playing the whistle. Just because you think it's out doesn't mean that the people with the whistles do. If you listen to enough old people, you'll hear plenty of stories about goals that have been scored in various codes of football because she played the whistle. Taylor McCosker, when she gets in space, it's a thrilling sight, as is the run through from Tiana Anderson. She's been in the back all day, gets forward, went for glory. It would have made a great photo, but it's only 1 point. And she's possibly interrupted the men's reserve grade game on the other field as well. Yeah, it certainly happened the other way around enough times. Thrilling counter-attack, generated by McCosker. And Tiana Anderson's been thrown forward in this 4th quarter. And to be fair, she took it on. She didn't shirk the responsibility of scoring the goal. And then back inside 50 through Tar. Good tackle. Good technique as well. Jamie Howell, not at the club, Yeronga, this year. I believe she's qualified for the Deaf Olympics yet again. But she tackled like that, where she just grabbed the player and almost like buildings being destroyed, she would just drag them to ground so that they were tackled vertically. Holding the ball. Moreton Bay on the attack. She wouldn't so much tackle them as demolish them. I misread that. Yeronga with a chance to get out of jail through Haig. Goes towards the boundary, over the top of Hellier. And the free kick given to Hellier for a push, for which he's grateful. Haig again. Just ran into a bit of trouble. And the handball was slow, picked off. It was read early. Through the hands of Page. Just looking in from Tar. Cleaned up by Smith at the back. Well picked up by Walker. She's been good in parts today. Just having trouble clearing Yeronga. Being pushed back towards their own goal. And if there's a turnover, Benson doesn't get a clean kick away. It's dribbling towards goal. Pulteney does very well. She's been an excellent goalkeeper, so to speak, this season for the Yeronga Devils. Bounces away from McCosker. Feeds it back inside 50. The Yeronga players just left it for each other. Hoadley and Wilson looked at each other. Will be a ball up. Just looking at the makeup of Moreton Bay's side, I have a feeling that Shane Dawes may have pulled the old Kevin Sheedy play and just switched the back line and the forward line. Punch through by Benson. Opportunity now. Offline from Charis Tar. She's already got a few goals this season. And out on the full is that far out. So no addition to the score, still 79 plays 7. For Moreton Bay, 3 goals to Talia Benson. 2 each to Jess Davey, Shauna Kelly and Tama Rue. And then singles to Grace Pearson-Smith and Mahalia Johnson. Kenza Hoadley, the goal scorer. Her first goal in senior football for the Devils. Through the hands of Wilson. McCosker. Handballs forward to Tar. Tar scores. You don't need me to comment on that. You can just look and be impressed. And do we think that maybe Charis Tar was moved forward so that she could do that? Note to self, after the game, ask Charis Tar if she has gymnastics in her background, or indeed her future. I will say though, now first of all, if you score a goal like that, you've got absolute right to celebrate. However, if I was Yeronga right now, I would choose to take offence at that and go, right, you guys are going to pay. Whatever little motivations you can give yourself. Sure, congratulate her after the game and say that was impressive, but right now, get mad. Beautiful hands out of the contest. Got as far as Brady, looking for Davey. Reads the ball in flight so well. Looking to feed it into the goal square. Pulteney had front position. Anderson trying to break free. Does break free. Tiana Anderson on the board. Now you see what Charis Tar has done. Now people are disappointed with Tiana Anderson because she hasn't done the triple forward flip. It just poisons the whole team, honestly. Cry down below us to start working, Devils. Any bit of encouragement is welcome. There was some very good support here at the ground for the reserve grade team who went down with the last kick of the game. Tavel, superb work in defence. In attack, what am I talking about? Apologies. Looking for someone to get on the end of it. Through the hands of Helia. Pungu. I think it's out on the full. So if you're a Yeronga player, you end your disappointment precisely now and you get on with turning over this ball. If you're Moreton Bay, you say, okay, we dodged the bullet. We know we can counter-attack at speed. Let's see what we can produce. And of course, when you're on 91 points, you're just thinking, well, there's a chance to hit the ton here. Hits the ground inside 50, but they've worked well as a unit. Brady's kick's more or less aerial, lands in no woman's land. Bounces over everyone. McHugh the other way. Playing the 1-2. Hoadley from behind. Was able to get her hands free cleverly. Walker, not able to get her hands free. Trying to burst through the pack was Hoadley. Interesting call, but I can see why. Taken very calmly by Benson on the near side. Shadows lengthening at Lation Park. The predicted rain has not come, which is fantastic. Teams have been able to show off their skills. Mahalia Johnson with the free kick at right half forward. Got very close to Jemima Smith, but was able to wobble it inside 50. Taken by Anderson. Got the taste for it now. Aerial kick. Benson's furthest forward. Comes off hands, and that'll just be a minor score. Now remember, that passage of play began from left back pocket after Pungu's shot went out on the full. It was probably only a matter of maybe 25 seconds that Moreton Bay had it up the other end of the ground. That kick looked a little bit strong. I'm a liar. Haig takes it very comfortably. Hooks the kick, found Smith, not able to hold on. Johnson over the ball. Brady trying to get away from Sutton and did so. Anderson and Davey working. Davey on the outside. Big handball into the goal square. Charistar. It's her second goal of the final term. Shane Dawes bringing the changes below. As I say, not quite Sheedy-like, but he definitely put a few defenders in the forward line. And Tar, usually a winger by trade, being pushed further forward. The skill set between winger and half forward has a fair degree of overlap. It's a fairly small Venn diagram, if you know what I'm saying. Beautiful work through the middle. That was Wilson again. She's probably been Yeronga's best today, Sienna Wilson. Good defence with the backside. Might have been Tamer Rue. Otto trying to work through, and Sienna Wilson again with the tackle. And also, did she have a chance to dispose? Umpire says no. Umpire's not a computer. I think that throwing got stuck with the hand as well. Wilson tried to go through, very nearly succeeded. But Anderson pulled back into defence after 1 goal and 1 assist. Into the centre of the field. Possession disputed. Turned over and be thumped forward by Hersey. That's a beautiful defensive mark. Is that Yovanissi back there, or possibly Sophia Wilson? Thank you. So back in the middle of the park. I just improved my Sophia Wilson ID skills. It's put forward by Hamilton. Just turned around. Hint of sun in the player's eyes, but they managed to get it forward, Yeronga. Not quite inside 50. It's as close as you can get to an inside 50 without actually having one. Good pressure on the kicker, but it was able to be cleared by Irvin. On its way back, McCosker just left the ball behind her. Umpire was blindsided. Strong tackle from Hersey. Ball up at the feet of Morisuti. Panaho in the ruck. Beaten out by Anderson. Looking for McCosker, who's been one of Moreton Bay's best today. McHugh. Tackled by Hamer. But they're still on the way forward. Yeronga. Looking for more than a consolation, looking for a sense of achievement. Bundled over, and the free kick will come back to Hamilton. Anderson comes off for a well-earned rest. Just through the hands of Tavel. Hellier lurking, and Irvin sees it over the white line. Still a bit over 7 minutes of game time remaining. Rosie White tried to get her hands around it and had close physical attention on her. Ball's made of soap apparently at the moment. The last 4 players have just had it slip out of their grasp. It's a coolish day. The temperature would be in the mid to high teens. We're just approaching 3:45 here in Brisbane. Strong work to extract the pill. In the end, hacked off the ground by O'Connor. That's excellent speed from, I'm pretty sure that's Tavel. I've mixed her up with Punga a few times today, for which I apologise, but the quality is there. Tavel had the palm up straight away. Just a ball up, and I think it was Yovanissi who nearly had an opportunity up front before. Of course, had the goal against Southport last week. She can dine out on that for a while. A lot of players around the competition to whom she can say, did you score against Southport? No? Interesting. Back to Wilson. Ran a long way, then gave it back and possibly gave the Moreton Bay defence a bit of time to swarm. Roly-poly on the ground with Sutton. Oh, interesting. Oh, Tars hit the ground hard. There's a tackle from Walker, Tars up. It wasn't a sling tackle as such, it was just the momentum, but I think we all looked at it and went, oh, never a head goes that close to the ground. We all want the best. Thompson. In fact, that was Kelly, apologies. Knocked forward, well, not knocked forward by Hersey. Benson working hard. She's been outstanding today. Morisuti trying to reef it free. Unsuccessful. Ball up hits the deck. The ball down, so to speak. Attacked hard. Umpire spotted probably a couple of things in there. In the end, it's Rosie White who's awarded the free kick. Been good in the ruck today. Slaps it inside 50. Thompson! I thought that had slipped through her hands, and somehow she managed to hold on to the back half of the ball. Sending players long. No need to disguise her intentions. This is going the distance. And picked off at centre half forward by one of the shortest players on the field, Emerson Brady. Very similar position to where she scored Moreton Bay's first goal back in round one. Generally looks reliable with a set shot. She brought up Moreton Bay's first goal, and now she brings up Moreton Bay's first century. Emerson Brady is a chronic history maker. So Moreton Bay hit the century for the first time in their Bond University QAFLW existence. Game number 11. And hopefully hit you here for many years to come. They, of course, fill out the geography of this competition. We had no teams between Aspley and Maroochydore. Bit of a gap in the northern corridor of this competition, but it's now filled by a very well-organised club. Back to Clutton. They will play to the end. Haig. Another inside 50 for Yeronga. They want someone on the end of this. Hellier moving all the way forward. Went through, couldn't get away from O'Connor. Tavel needs a bit of space, trying to get onto the right foot. The handball just knocked out of the way of Jovanetti. O'Connor looking to clear. Good touch away from Hoadley. Hamilton had a couple of opportunities. Now it's come all the way out. I think that's Anderson who's let her bun loose. Benson. Bounces away from everyone. McHugh. And very industrious today. Had more luck in other games this year. She's probably worked just as hard today as she has in other games. Contact, I'm not even sure there was contact at all. But it's been called contact over the shoulder. I'm on the opposite side of the play from the umpire. Davey slicing through. Handballs to herself over the top. Is in space. Just needs a straight shot. She hasn't done too well with that today. She does it well now. And for the second time this year, Jess Davey has a hat-trick in the Bond University QAFLW. Maybe the free kick was lucky, maybe it wasn't, but if you give Jess Davey a sniff. And I wonder, do iSports count that as her own assist? I mean, we don't count goal assist in this competition, just on iSports. Big thank you to them for the work they do, recording and publishing the individual and team statistics for the entire Bond University QAFLW and the TPIL lawyers QAFL, the men's competition. So they'll be watching the tapes over the weekend, and usually by the time you get to Monday night, all games are up on the website, which is accessible through play.afl/Queensland. Then follow the relevant links. Haig has a free kick just left of the centre circle. She's got a good boot on her, Haig. Hellier drops it under pressure, tries to get away. Was looking for Hamilton. Ran into traffic. Gets away out of the cul-de-sac. Up towards the goal square. Needed a friendly bounce, didn't get one. Irvin does very well. She circumnavigates herself. The clearance is not great, but well taken by Tamaroo in the back pocket. So yes, the statistics will start going up probably tomorrow evening. Moreton Bay on the counter-attack. Brady runs her full complement. Handball over the top to Page. Big thump forward, looking for Davey. Nearly had it over the back of the contest, and Davey's been called for a push. She's silently questioning it. But given what led to her scoring her last goal, maybe there's an element of justice. Not against Jess specifically, of course. Haig been strong. She has to be in the top 6 today. There you go, Sachs. You can pick your other 5, but you have to have Eliza Haig in there. Looking forward, Tavel has the Overnitty outside her. Again, just need a little bit of luck to go their way inside front 50 Yeronga, and they haven't had it today. Working it out through White. That was good 4 or 5 handballs in a row. Annika Williams. Never saw a player in front of her that she didn't want to bump over, and on that occasion it was teammate Talia Benson. Annika said, sorry Talia, but I need to bump something. So in the final minute, there's been lots of strong players today for, well, just a bit of contact in the air. Might go through them after full time, but it's been a strong win for Moreton Bay. Up towards Tavel. Tavel in front position. Last kick of the game. Tara Tavel. 2 seconds left on the clock. Oh, missed it to the left. Ah, maybe I only saw what I wanted to see. Nothing against Moreton Bay. But it's been a tough year for Yeronga. I wanted that to go through. I admit it. I admit it. It's Moreton Bay's day, the highest score in their club's brief Bond University QAFLW history, 16-14-110. They've defeated Yeronga 1-2-8. Kenza Hoadley was the lone goal scorer for Yeronga back in the first quarter. For Moreton Bay, well, they had 16 goals, obviously. 3 to Talia Benson, 3 to Jess Davey. There were doubles to Charis Tarr, Shauna Kelly and Tamaroo, and then singles to Emerson Brady, Grace Pearson-Smith, Mahalia Johnson and Tiana Anderson. In terms of best on ground for Moreton Bay, to be honest, for her work in the middle, for me it's hard to go past Taylor McCosker. I thought she was outstanding in the middle. I definitely hope that Talia Smith is okay after her injury in the first quarter. Mahalia Johnson, good to see her on the score sheet and some excellent work in the middle. There were heroes all over the ground. Tiana Anderson, both as a defender and up forward. For Yeronga South Brisbane, Eliza Haig definitely deserves a mention. Thyra Tavel, always dangerous. I think probably Sienna Wilson and Scarlett Young were the top 2 for them on the field all up today. Kenza Hoadley always looking dangerous as well. My name is Daniel Viles. Thank you so much for your company today. Next week, no Bond University QAFLW action because the action will be in the north of Tasmania. Tasmania versus Queensland at the Latrobe Recreation Reserve. We will have the details for the live stream on the AFLQ website. And then the week after, it is the grand finalists of last year, Southport and Bond University, meeting at Fankhauser Reserve when the Bond University QAFLW resumes in round 12. Thank you for your company today. Join us for Tasmania, Queensland next week, and after that, the Shark Stoush.